Now on Sunrise, the crisis in the Middle East. How people in Portland are standing up for those in Gaza waiting for aid. Plus, how a local school district worked with students to start the semester with no phones allowed. Your news starts now. Good morning, and thanks for getting up with us on this Saturday morning. I'm Libby Dowsett. Your headlines in just a minute. But first, let's check in with Matt Safino with our forecast.
Hey, good morning, everybody. Hope you are enjoying the beginning of your weekend. It is going to be a really good one, especially today. Lots of sunshine on the way. It'll be warm and sunny pretty much all day long. Maybe a few clouds around early, but they're going to burn off. And yesterday we hit 86. Today will be a couple degrees cooler than that, top out about 83. So really right in the sweet spot for a lot of people. Now tomorrow is a bit different. We're going to get a surge of cooler air coming in from the coast tomorrow. So mainly cloudy, especially in the morning hours. Should get some breaks in the afternoon, but definitely cooler. I don't think we see 80 degrees tomorrow, topping out about 78 or 79. And that'll be the pattern Monday and Tuesday as well. Then we get some showers potentially around Wednesday. It doesn't look like a very big deal, but we've got that potential for a few light showers. Sunset today at 8:37. Again, a mainly sunny day by late morning in the mid-60s. By early afternoon, we're in the mid-70s. And again, we're going to top out today at about 83 degrees with plenty of August sunshine. So again, enjoy the day, enjoy the weekend. It will be a little bit cooler tomorrow if 83 is a bit too much for you today. Back to you.
We begin this morning with the crisis in the Middle East. Friday, U.S. officials visited Gaza as more Palestinians say they were shot at while awaiting aid. U.S. Ambassador Mike Huckabee and U.S. Special Envoy Steve Witkoff were in Gaza. The controversial U.S.-backed aid distribution site in Rafah is run by the Gaza Humanitarian Foundation. The foundation has been widely criticized for failing to improve conditions amid the starvation crisis. The United Nations says more than 1,000 Palestinians have been killed while trying to get food, hundreds of them near those sites. The foundation disputes that claim. The escalating situation is prompting even more pushback here in the U.S. Alma McCarty hears from local demonstrators and lawmakers.
Outside Pioneer Courthouse Square Friday, calls to action continue.
We just have to raise our voices. We cannot allow such a thing to continue to happen.
It's been incredibly frustrating to see how little progress has been made over the course of the past 2 years.
Progress for a lasting ceasefire. It's what those here want to see.
And a ceasefire is so basic and isn't even the same thing as justice. It's just a halt to the slaughter. But that's still what we're pushing for right now.
I feel like it's a moral imperative for us to stand up during this time.
As frustrations fuel protests in Portland, Oregon lawmakers also voice their support of expanded humanitarian aid amid reports of extreme hunger and starvation in Gaza. On Friday, Congresswoman Maxine Dexter joined other congressional doctors sending this letter to the president, urging the administration to take action. And earlier this week, Senator Jeff Merkley posting this message.
The Netanyahu government continues to violate international humanitarian law by using food, or more precisely, the denial of food, as a weapon of war.
The Israeli government, however, has said there is no starvation in Gaza.
This is not a logistics problem. It's not a coordination problem. This is a political problem because we have unfortunately seen Israel blocking aid and commercial goods to only a tiny trickle getting into Gaza over the last several months.
Humanitarian groups like Mercy Corps explaining the dire situation on the ground. Their food expiring before it reaches civilians.
We really are at the point where we are nearing famine and mass starvation. We need to see greater political pressure to alleviate this catastrophe.
Alma McCarty, KGW News.
And developing this morning, one person is dead after a shooting in Hillsborough. It happened around 5 o'clock last night. Police responded to reports of gunfire at the Extended Stay America on Northeast Cornell Road in the Tannisbourne neighborhood. They found one person dead and took a suspect into custody. At this point, police do not know what led up to that shooting, and they have not released the identities of those involved. Caught on camera, someone breaking into enclosures at the Bird Alliance of Oregon in Northwest Portland. Several birds recovering from injuries escaped. The Alliance is asking for help now tracking them down, while the suspect could be charged with a federal wildlife crime. Celine Stevens has more.
After midnight Thursday, an intruder broke into the enclosures here at the Wildlife Care Center at the Bird Alliance of Oregon, not only causing property damage, but harming multiple birds that were still in recovery.
They may not survive out there.
9 birds now missing from 2 outdoor enclosures prematurely released by an intruder who was caught on security cameras.
We're missing 5 American kestrels, 1 crow, and 3 northern flickers. So if anybody hears of anything, or particularly with the small falcons, if anybody is offering animals for sale, we need to know about that, and so do wildlife officials.
That intruder still hasn't been identified, according to the Portland police. 1 American kestrel is believed to have been killed by a predator after a pile of feathers was found at the base of a nearby tree.
So these animals were not ready for release. It's very dangerous for them to be out, and before the rehabilitation officials, our staff have gone through and decided that they're fit.
Some of those birds had only been in their care for a few weeks after suffering injuries. The Bird Alliance of Oregon's Wildlife Care Center treats around 5,000 animals a year at their facility. Some, like this man named Mike, visited Friday, bringing in an injured bird he found.
It's a sad situation that people would mess with a bird that's helpless, defenseless, can't take care of itself. Why? What's the point? It's senseless.
This counting as a federal wildlife crime, according to Travis Coons, the Wildlife Care Center director for the Bird Alliance of Oregon.
Unauthorized removal of protected migratory birds from rehabilitation involves Migratory Bird Treaty Act, also the Lacey Act. So these laws exist to protect wildlife from harm, especially when they're vulnerable and in care.
The Bird Alliance of Oregon is very dependent on donations, so anybody who wants to help out can either donate in person or online on their website. In Forest Park, Celine Stevens, KGW News.
In Washington, new traffic equipment is in place to help stop wrong-way drivers. The state's pilot program placed several cameras and radar equipment at several locations in Southwest Washington. One of those spots is the 179th Street off-ramp on I-5 North in Vancouver. If sensors detect a wrong-way driver, lights will flash. If the car doesn't stop, an alert will go out to Washington State Patrol so they can try to stop them. A popular gay club that was set to close its doors for good this weekend will now remain open. Thursday on Facebook, the managers of CC Slaughters in Old Town announced the business is now for sale, and they're already in talks with potential buyers. According to the Post, the current owner will be retiring, but the club will stay open to the public while the sale and the new ownership are finalized.
CC's is such a quintessential part of the Portland queer experience that to not have it would be such a detrimental loss.
I think it's essential that we support any and all queer spaces because they're so few and far between. We've seen this one on the chopping block too many times, and all we can do is support as many as possible.
The club will continue to operate during its regular business hours until further notice. Beginning this school year, Oregon students will not be allowed to use cell phones during the school day. The change is part of Governor Kotek's executive order requiring schools to ban cell phones in classrooms. It also bans their use in hallways, restrooms, cafeterias, and outdoor areas. Some districts are requiring students to put their phones in locked pouches. For Tigard-Tualatin students, the superintendent tells us phones will have to be off and put away.
If we have a student who's having challenges following that rule, that's when we start having deeper conversations with them, and it might result in their phone being confiscated. It might result in the student having to check their phone in when they get to the school each day.
The school board is expected to approve the plan later this month. After that, the policy must be implemented by January 1st.